Okay, so this is teaching for women. I'm going to go over and debunk the lunar Sabbath, which is very easily done. So this is the calendar with all the moon cycle in 2026. So if you notice in January, there is a new moon on the 18th. So based off of the lunar Sabbath, you would count 7 days from the new moon. That would be the 25th. So that would be the start of the monthly Sabbath, right? So the 25th, and then February it would be the 1st, and then the 8th, and then um, there's a new moon on the 17th. So that would restart the cycle. So looking at that, if you count from the 8th to the new moon, right? That would be 7, 8, 9, 10 days, right? And then you have your new Sabbath. And it would start over on Tuesday, on February 17th. So that would be breaking the 7-day Sabbath cycle. And then it would be, next one would be on the 24th. And then the next one would be on the 3rd, then the 10th, and then it would restart on the 18th. So instead of it being 7 days, that would be 8 days, breaking the 7th-day cycle. Okay. So the fact that it's breaking the 7-day cycle is telling you that's already in error. Because if you go to Genesis, Jehovah worked 6 days, and then the seventh day he rested. What he founded from the beginning of time, the 7-day cycle. And then Exodus, so Genesis 2, um, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, Jehovah ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Jehovah blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Jehovah created and made. In Exodus 20, Jehovah commands you to keep the Sabbath day, or to remember it. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Jehovah thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within the gates. Okay, this is the Ten Commandments Jehovah wrote with his own finger on 2 tables of stone. And he tells you to remember it on the seventh day. And Deuteronomy 5, he tells you to keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it as Jehovah thy God has commanded thee, as he commanded. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath to Jehovah thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy ox, nor thy ass, etc. On the seventh day you are to keep it. So based off of the lunar Sabbath, it breaks the 7-day cycle. And with the calendar changes, their argument, well, the calendar changed, right? So their argument is the moon will be off by 10 days. That's why they go by a lunar Sabbath. But even when the calendar changed, the 7-day week never changed. It remained 7-day weeks. There's always been 7 days and 1 week, never altering the 7-day week cycle. So they're very a lot in error with this. And even if you look at this, this would cause a lot of um, challenges for, new believers coming in, realizing they need to keep Sabbath, as it's all always changing during the month. Like he says to labor for 6 days and on the seventh day rest, keep it holy, keep it as he commanded. You can imagine what problems that would cause a person. Like they must be unemployed to be able to do that. Their whole family resting on a Sabbath that's constantly changing. And it breaks the 7-day cycle. So I'm just going to read some scripture. So in Enoch chapter 80, and in those days the angel Uriel answered and said unto me, Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldest see this sun and this moon and the leaders of the stars of the heaven, and all these who turn them, their task and times and departures. And in the days of the sinners, the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on their lands and fields, and all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. The rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold it. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time. Verse 4. And the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey to the evening in the extremity of the great chariots in the west. Okay, so the moon shall alter her order and not appear at her time. Okay, so in Jubilees, chapter 6, this is a huge rebuke to the Torah movement as well. Um, let's see here. For I know, and from now on will I declare it to you, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lies written in the presence of me, and on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained. Or they forget the feast of the covenants, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, and how it disturbs the seasons. So pay attention to this verse 36. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, and how it disturbs the seasons, and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason the years will come upon them when they disturb, misinterpret the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, an unclean day, a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to you, that you may testify to them. For after your death your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the years 364 days only, and for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. Okay, there's 7 different calendars the Torah Christians have trying to figure out a calendar that Jehovah took away, profaning his feast days, doing it on random calendar days, trying to figure out the calendar. This is where the Torah Christians go wrong with the lunar Sabbath as well. And Jubilees too, they're going off of the moon to establish their weekly Sabbath. But in Jubilees chapter 2, verse 8, on the 4th day Jehovah created the sun and the moon and the stars and set them in the sky of the heaven to give light on all the earth and to rule over the day and the night and divide the light from the darkness. God appointed the sun, S-U-N, to be a great sign on the earth 4 days and for Sabbaths and for months and for feasts. He appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth to establish days and Sabbaths and months and feasts and for years and for Sabbaths of years and for jubilees and for all seasons of the year. He didn't establish the moon for that. So why are the Torah Christians doing this lunar Sabbath where there's nowhere in scripture that says to use the moon to set their Sabbath? He appointed the sun to establish the days. And this is also a rebuke to the Torah Christians who do an evening to evening Friday to evening Saturday Sabbath. A day doesn't start in dusk, the day starts at dawn. Jehovah worked during the day. He called the light day and the darkness night. He worked during the day, then a transition of time, evening, where the sun set into the night to the morning were of 1 day in Genesis. He worked morning to morning. Morning in the Strongs is morrow, Morrow. Day, break of day. Okay. Exodus 16, he instructed them to gather twice the amount of manna. I'll just go there. Let's see. So, gather of it every man according to his eating. He says, let no man leave it to the morning, right? Because it would spoil and get worms and stink. And Moses was, or sorry, notwithstanding they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. They didn't listen to him. And they gathered every morning, every man according to his eating, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for 1 man. And all the rulers of the congregations came and told Moses, and he said unto them, This is that which Jehovah has said, tomorrow, Morrow, morning, and the Strong says morrow, day, a break of day, is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you will bake today, and seethe that you will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein, because that was the Sabbath day, the seventh day. So this is a huge rebuke also to those who are doing an evening to evening Sabbath. I'm also going to go to Leviticus 23. Oops. Okay. So the feast of the week, and you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. So you're supposed to count from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days. Okay? And you shall offer a new meat offering unto Jehovah. 50 days. So 7 Sabbaths, if you were to count by the morrow, like it instructs, 7 Sabbaths is 50 days by the 7-week cycle. But the lunar Sabbath doesn't go off of 7 days. It alters. It can be the 9th or 10th day, the 8th day, as we saw in here. And it comes out to about 52 days. That's not 50 days. So this easily shows you can't get 7 Sabbaths based off of the lunar Sabbath, counting out 50 days. So, I mean, it's really presumptuous and it's not correct. The seventh day Sabbath has never changed. There's still 7 days every single week. It's always been on Saturday. Saturday in every single language means Sabbath.